Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. This is Jonathan Shatke. I'm running for president of the United States, and please write me in. It is your only hope. Anyway, the United States has begun an unprecedented fascist takeover, the likes that has not been seen since the 1930s. The special purpose vehicles of are the method of using the um, money created out of thin air by the uh, Federal Reserve in order to to buy in the stock market. Mnuchin is a very smart and canny player. You can bet he has his spreadsheet of the cross ownership. So, for a couple months, CEOs have been resigning, jumping ship, and going off on their own, uh, leaving companies. Well, we found out in the beginning of March why, and that was that they weren't able to feel uh, that they could engage in the sell off um, while maintaining their fiduciary duty. They felt that they would be breaching their fiduciary duty to do sales into a crashing market, which is how they manage these massive drops, right? It's a coordinated response plan, and it started with several big players selling off, and then everybody else jumping on the bandwagon and selling into the drop, and that uh, causes these stock market up the fast drops. And when we saw the bouncing back, that was coordination on the other side of vigilantes. So it's been a war that we've seen in March, a war between two factions of oligarchs. But that war changed with this stimulus package for the coronavirus. When a special purpose vehicle purchases stocks under the and is held by the Treasury Department and managed by the Treasury Department, the Treasurer of the United States has voting control over the stock he bought, like every other common stock. Generally, about 25% is all you need to take over operational control. In these massive crash situations, Mnuchin will be doing that. He will be pushing to get 25% of key companies that control other things. If he controls 25% of a majority of the Federal Reserve member banks, he controls the Federal Reserve. Any other company that he can free from the liberal globalist uh, domination, he will also do. Why would you need to pass a law to take over um, and break up Facebook and stop them from being evil if you can take operational control of Facebook? He doesn't need laws to control a company if he has operational control of the company. But then he's going to have, he needs to rescue these companies need to be rescued from the globalist retards who are running them into the ground. They get woke, they go broke. It happens time and again. Every time somebody does this, they go into the toilet. Um, you know, why did Marshall Fields go under and have to be bought by Macy's? Because they started pandering to a small portion of the populace instead of the majority of the populace. And when you do that, you go broke. It's simple economics. You want to be offering products which are of it, which appeal to the majority instead of the minority, unless you are a niche. And if you are a niche retailer, then you focus on that niche 100%. But Marshall Fields wasn't a niche retailer; they were a mass retailer, high end in their day. But then when they focused on a niche, that niche didn't have the means to be handling high end goods. So they went from a high end mass retailer to a mass market niche retailer, and it doesn't work. You go broke doing that. So other companies are also going broke, and why is there Gab? Because Facebook is evil. Why is there DuckDuckGo? Because Google is evil. Why why is Tor browser out there? Because Google is evil, and Chrome and Firefox are evil. So you've got all these evil companies that have turned to the dark side, don't respect their users, don't respect their platforms neutrality, and they're going to get captured and taken over in this buyout. If you've got a smaller company where the market cap is 30 billion, it doesn't take very long. So the only places that are going to continue in libtard control are going to be those where the company is 50% owned by a primary player. And he doesn't want to play ball. But even in those cases, the Treasury owning a significant share of the company, if they can demonstrate dereliction of duty, they can kick through the courts. They can push the CEO and the major players who are still liberal off the board. They can do a hostile board action under the fiduciary duty to bring value to your stock and to run the company in order to make money. Um, all advertising-based businesses are seeing huge hits, and when those earnings reports start hitting, um, the stock market is going down deep. If Mnuchin is smart, he will be saving his war chest for when the stock market is at less than half its top value. Um, he'll be playing small potatoes, maybe 100 billion before then, but he will save the massive amount of his uh, war chest for when the stock market drops to almost nothing, and he can get the operational control. If he gets operational control of a company, obviously he's going to follow Trump's "Make America Great Again" policy, bring back manufacturing to American shores, bring back eh, bring back um, uh, primary marketing to American shores, and of course provide value needed for the current emergency. Um, the the unwinding of this afterwards must also happen. Um, I think the Czech model of unwinding was the correct one. What they did is they took every nationalized industry, they issued, they did a stock issuance per capita, and just sent every person in the country one share of the stock of that company that that had been a national thing, and then people could trade and buy and sell and trade as they cared to, and it it worked. People, I if I got that, I say I don't know anything about running any of these companies, um, and you know, sell them back onto the market. Um, contra- Keeping control of companies that I thought were better than others, and but you know, that's what you do. You keep the ones that you like. You sell the ones you don't care about, and people will adjust their holdings appropriately. Um, but that's how you take an industry which was nationalized in whole or in part, and bring it and give it back to the people. Um, so now, if a miracle happens and you guys uh, write in Jonathan Shatke as president, and and I become president of the United States, then I guarantee that America will be on a peace footing from day one. And I will take control of the deep state. We are in an emergency. I will go into Um, first, the FBI headquarters. And I will say I need to look at every operational plan. Every operation you have undergoing, under action, I need to see. And we will stop the FBI from doing the fucking shit that they do to every terrorist group of giving them operational help in order to make a terrorist attack, and then, hopefully arresting them, uh, but more often than not, letting them go through. That's bullshit. We need to stop that. Um, Once we have cleaned up the FBI and stopped the bullshit operations, the next step is cleaning up the CIA and doing the same, getting every operational plan and stopping the ones that are inactive, that are improper. We under the Oshadky administration, the United States is not going to be involved in um, building any other country or interfering in its operations. All we are going to be interested in is knowing what's happening. Many of the operational plans will be canceled immediately. Many of the dirty trick plans that have been made, I will cause to be declassified as and disavowed. And because that's the only way that you can stop these things from happening, is by giving everybody the heads up on what was planned. Um, and by declassifying them, they will no longer be useful. You can't have a secret operation running to run drugs from Nicaragua into the United States to fund arms sales to Iraq, Afghanistan militants. If that plan is open, the Afghanis will be on the watch for it, and they'll pick up the pieces. The Nicaraguans will be on the watch for the people who are selling the drugs, and the FBI will be on the watch for the people who are fucking bringing the drugs into the country against the law. I bring up the Iran-Contra affair because the Iran-Contra affair was a proven operation that was done illegally. And um, the CIA has got to have dozens of those going on. So we take the CIA back, we take the NSA back, et cetera, et cetera. I cancel the drug war, and I don't care if they make a law that legalizes drugs or not. I will just simply pardon everybody ever arrested for a law that I don't think is appropriate. It doesn't take very many pardons of everybody who is arrested on something for did not be done. I would task the Department of Justice with prosecuting the prosecuting attorneys who, under color of law, use civil asset forfeiture against people who haven't been charged with a crime. If you use civil asset forfeiture on somebody who has not been charged with a crime, you are a criminal. You are a thief. I don't care if the law technically allows it. If you can't prove in court that somebody has done something wrong and that the money is tainted by something wrong, then you are a thief. And as president, the Department of Justice is my tool. I wish to free the American country from the evil that has held it. And I wish to free you. Vote Jonathan Shadkey. Vote for freedom.